From the Alabama News Network, this is Your Community This Week on ABC 32.
Hello everyone, welcome to Your Community This Week. I'm Mandy McQueen, and today we'll be talking with Lane Hawley and Cheryl Carter to talk about the Rising Arts Expo. But first, I'm joined by Cassandra Brown and Patrick Aiken to discuss MLK Day of Service, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us, Mandy.
Of course. Now we're talking about MLK Day of Service, and you two work closely each year for a very special drive that helps those in need and also helps the homeless as well.
Correct.
So just kind of talk to me about what you all will be doing this year. It's coming up on January 20th, right?
January 20th, MLK Day, and the sorority, Delta Sigma Theta sorority, Montgomery Alumni Chapter, for the past 3 years, we've partnered with MAC on providing warm clothing and other necessities for the homeless in the Montgomery River region area, actually. And it has been great turnouts each year, and we really feel like we are doing what needs to be done to help the homeless in our area. And we encourage people to come out and help us provide these needed items for the homeless.
And you're saying this is the third year that your organization's been involved, and why did they decide to get involved with this?
From a social action standpoint, Delta Sigma Theta take on issues, that affect our general population, and homelessness is a big issue. And we are just trying to do what we can to have a positive impact to curb some of the needs. We may not be able to fix everything that goes along with homelessness, but we are able to fill some of the needs with this drive and partnership that we've had for the past 3 years.
Perfect. And speaking of the drive, what all do people need and what can they bring or how can they help?
Blankets,
Coats.
hats, scarves, coats.
Gloves.
Things you need in the wintertime.
Warm socks.
And we even accept clothing and toiletries, because the organization also hands out, toiletry bags to the homeless. So any trial-size toiletry items, we accept those as well.
Now, Mr. Patrick, you work closely with the homeless and those in need. What do you see when you're working with them? What are some of their greatest needs, and how can
During the winter
encourage
months,
people?
believe it or not, chapstick.
Really?
Petroleum jelly and chapstick.
Something you may not think of, yeah.
And as far as socks, warm wool socks are so important.
Yeah.
Cotton socks, they don't provide any warmth during the winter time. They're usually cast aside after about 2 weeks of wearing them straight because they get kind of sweaty and crunchy. But wool wicks away moisture and it keeps their feet very warm.
So it's more tough on the wear and tear probably too.
It is.
Now, what are maybe some of the stories? You work closely with them. You probably have some personal stories as well. So what would you tell people to encourage them to maybe come out and donate and to help? Because I feel like sometimes, people may have a misperception of the homeless.
They do. Not a homeless are the people that you see panhandling at the interstate exits. In fact, you're not going to see many homeless people panhandling at all. A lot of them have jobs. They're called the unseen population for a reason. They remain invisible, whether it's their decision or people just choose to ignore them. I tell someone walking down the street in downtown, if you see someone that you know is homeless, it doesn't cause you any problems just to say, hey, my friend, how you doing today?
Right.
Make eye contact. A homeless person is no different than you and I. We have a roof over their heads, they may not. But other than that, there's no difference. And yes, there's a lot of stories, and we don't have enough time to tell them.
Now, there are other events that you have also throughout the year for homeless as far as drives and that kind of thing?
We do. We just concluded our annual blanket drive, a 3-week period back in November.
Gotcha.
And we received in about 3,800 items. And I'm happy to say the bulk of those items, when they came in that morning, that evening they were already out on the streets.
Wow.
So they're just not sitting in a warehouse collecting dust. They're getting out to the people that need them the most.
Now, do you all need volunteers for the drive? Is that?
We will accept bodies because we do, we have to pack and sort the items as we receive them. So if anyone is willing to come out and volunteer, absolutely. 401 South Decatur Street, the Fortitude Building, and we will be there from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. on January 20th.
Perfect.
Now, as for us, we're also seeking volunteers at MOC on our MLK Serve Day on the 20th. Right now we're taking in donations of hygiene items to go in our hygiene kits that we would be passing out for our point in time count. It's our annual census of the homeless on January the 28th. So we need those hygiene items sorted and stuffed into backpacks before then.
Okay, great. So that's another great thing that people
Right.
can do and also get involved with. Now, as far as the homeless community in Montgomery, do you see a growing number of that?
It depends what part of the city you're going in. I don't know if it's growing so much as it's just moving to different
shifting.
locations. The numbers are still too high for an area our size in Montgomery. You know, even if it was just one homeless person, that's one too many, particularly if they're a homeless veteran. I mean, that just shouldn't happen. But yeah, I wouldn't say the numbers are decreasing, but I wouldn't say they're increasing. It's just the demographics are moving from one part of Montgomery to the other.
Gotcha. Okay, well, thank you so much. Our conversation is going to continue in just a moment. You're watching Your Community This Week on ABC 32. We'll be right back. Welcome back. With us on Your Community This Week is Ms. Cassandra Brown and Patrick Aiken to discuss MLK Days of Service, and that's coming up January 20th. Right around the corner, and of course you all will be doing a drive to help those in need, to help the homeless as well. And the best thing is probably some winter clothing for those cold nights, gloves, scarves, jackets. But we were also talking before we went to break about how people can volunteer, and of course these donations are very important. So just kind of talk to me about the importance of having volunteers and those donations.
Okay. So Delta Sigma Theta, the Montgomery Alumni Chapter, partnered 3 years ago with the organization. And I think that it's very valuable that other organizations do something similar or the same as we do. Right. So I personally challenge all other organizations to partner with the Montgomery area, the Montgomery Coalition.
Mid-Alabama Coalition for the Homeless.
It's a mouthful,
yes.
Otherwise known as MOC.
Yes. I challenge other organizations, particularly the Divine Nine, which is the Panhellenic Council, to come in and volunteer with this organization for this very worthy cause.
Very nice. And does your organization, do they have a specific philanthropy that they do, or do they just kind of do all kinds of community service?
We do all types of community service. We do all types.
And for you, as far as working with the homeless closely, how important is it for these donations and also volunteers to help throughout the year and help spread out the things that you get?
We need it desperately, because the monies that we would have to take out of being able to help someone get into housing, if we were having to spend that on hygiene kits, to me that money is better well spent on housing. The community has stepped up in a big way by providing the resources, the hygiene items that we need, and we've actually had several donations come in that didn't fit the norm. A gentleman, a homeless veteran, all he wanted for Christmas was Western paperbacks. And someone went out and bought them 12 and dropped them off to our office, and I was able to provide them to them before the Christmas holidays. Things like that can make a difference to someone's life, to know that someone out there that they don't even know actually cares about them.
Sometimes the small things.
Right, it can make the biggest difference.
Now, why did you decide to get kind of involved with the homeless community? Why are you passionate about that?
God laid it upon my heart. He broke my heart for the homeless several years ago.
And that's truth enough.
Yeah, it's a long story, but this is of God. This is a calling. It's not a job.
Right. And MLK Day of Service, again, just kind of give me the details if people are just now joining in with us, how they can come, where you all will be, what you can bring.
We will be located at 401 South Decatur Street, and that's the Fortitude Building. And we will begin at 9:00 a.m. on January 20th, and we will close down at 1 p.m. So we will gladly accept any donations, any volunteers during that time, because we want to be able to break our record of last year and, we want to overflow the pantry over at the facility.
We'll take it.
We want to overflow it.
Now, do you know about the numbers of what you all got last year for last year's drive?
That y'all filled up the mock van, I can tell you that. It took 3 of our employees to pick up all the donations.
Okay.
So we want to bust the van this
We
time.
want to bust the van.
Yeah.
Break my back.
That's the goal this year, is to bust the van.
Yes, we want to bust the van.
Now, as far as clothing items, can people bring like gently used clothing items, or do you prefer new stuff?
Gently used items are fine. New things are fine as well. anything that someone may think that would be useful for a person that is homeless. That is what we want.
Okay. But is the biggest thing kind of toiletry items and clothing for that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And just kind of talk to me about why, again, it's important to have something like this.
Well, it's important because all of us are humanitarians, right?
Yeah.
And it's just the right thing to do to help your fellow man. And if we could just reach one, you know, we would have made an impact on a very difficult situation. And we never know a person's story. So if we could just help them along the way, you know, our living would not be in vain.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate both of your time for being here, and thank you for what you're doing there. And again, MLK Day on the January 20th as well. So thank you so much. And thanks for your time. You're watching Your Community This Week on ABC 32. In a few minutes, we'll chat with Lane Holly and Cheryl Carter, and we'll be talking about the Rising Arts Expo. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and today we're talking with Lane Holly and Cheryl Carter this Sunday on ABC 32. Thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, of course, and we're talking about a very exciting event coming up. A lot of great information, the Rising Arts Expo.
Right.
So first of all, if people aren't aware about that, just tell me a little bit about the event and the details of it.
Well, the Rising Arts Expo brings together student performers from our magnet schools at Carver Elementary, Baldwin Middle, and Booker T. Washington High School magnet programs. This is part of our Leadership Montgomery project, and we are working with the FAME board, of which Cheryl is a member, which represents students in the magnet programs. And so what we're hoping to do is show off these student performers, what they do and what they gain from these magnet programs. Also give people a chance to see sort of inside the programs and to maybe look at those programs for themselves and their kids.
Perfect. So talk to me a little bit about the programs. If people aren't familiar with them, you know, how is it kind of different just from regular school? What can people and students get out of these magnet programs?
I'm going to turn that right over to Cheryl.
These are specialized programs for students who have an artistic love. For some of them, it's just an absolute passion, and they feel like they have to dance, or they have to sing, or they have to play an instrument because that's their outlet, whereas sports might be an outlet for somebody else.
Right.
And the exciting thing about this is the first time that Carver Elementary, Baldwin, and BTW have collaborated, and all of them have an arts emphasis.
Right.
So basically they all teach the same types of courses so that students can flow, say, from Carver Elementary over to Baldwin, and then from Baldwin, which is a middle school, into the high school, which is Booker T. Washington Magnet High.
Right. And I was reading too, and I know, you know, the magnet program is very special with the arts, like you were saying, but you also, with the courses, they also learn things like math and science. How is that in it as well?
Actually, the students do very, very well academically. A lot of people feel like the arts are a frill. They're not a frill. They're very, very challenging. And we have shown through research for years that students who play a musical instrument, for example, or who dance, do very well academically. So it demands that the school system have in place advanced courses for the students who take the arts and major in the arts. So they have a great success record academically as well as artistically.
Right, and at this expo, will parents and prospective students be able to maybe apply or learn more about the application process?
Yes, there will be somebody stationed from each one of the schools to answer any questions. We have materials that we're going to be handing out and representatives for them to talk to from each one of the schools, in addition to the performances that Leadership Montgomery has orchestrated.
Right.
Perfect. Yeah, what are some of the performances?
We have, it's great. We have some guitar, we have a jazz band, I think, or concert band. Dance, we have quite a few dance pieces,
Wow.
some dance accompanied by guitar. We have some choral performances, we have some spoken word and some from their creative writing curriculum, and some theatrical pieces. So you're going to get a lot of visions of all of their curriculum.
Yes.
And it's just amazing what they're going to be able to bring. Their visual arts will be there as well, so some of those works will be on display.
Now, are these current students that'll be performing as well?
These are all
Okay.
current students, so these are, you'll get to see the K through 12 curriculum for performing arts and arts at work,
Very nice.
which I think is going to be a great show.
Yes, it seems like a lot of great things happening. And also, I was reading too, there's going to be some door prizes and other things happening at the event too.
There will be some door prizes, so we're gonna, let me just tell you how to, when you show up, you'll enter for that. But if you pre-register for the event, you find us on Facebook, it's a Rising Arts Expo on Facebook, you can register on the event. And then when you register and check in, you're registered twice for door prizes.
Nice, that's the trick.
Tickets to shows at Alabama Shakespeare Festival. We have Biscuits baseball tickets. We have just some really fun things that we're giving away related to arts and entertainment.
A little bit of everything. Okay, perfect. Our conversation is going to continue in just a moment. You're watching Your Community This Week on ABC 32. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and today we're talking with Lane Hawley and Cheryl Carter on Your Community This Week, and a very exciting event coming up, the Rising Arts Expo, and we were just talking about that. A lot of great performances happening, and you're saying it was a drop-in event too, so you can kind of come in and out.
That's right, it's a drop-in event from 5:30 to 7 on Tuesday the 14th of January. So just drop in, we'll have several performances going on throughout the evening. You'll be able to walk through the beautiful museum, Montgomery Museum of Fine Arts. It's a great setting for this, and just have a really nice time doing it.
Now, is the museum, is that one of the sponsors for the event?
Well, they're a partner in our program, and they've given us a lot, so we're going to give them sponsorship status. We also have a couple of other sponsors. Dow Chemical is a sponsor, Horace Mann, Ian Malloy Agency is a sponsor, Alabama Shakespeare Festival, Montgomery Biscuits, and Auburn University at Montgomery.
Yes, and we were talking before the break, you also have wonderful performances with the door prizes, and you're saying you got biscuits and tickets to Alabama Shakespeare Festival too, right?
Yes, and we're rounding up more every day, so I think there's going to be several fun prizes for people to do some really fun things in town that they might normally think of or get the opportunity to do.
Yes. Now, is this the first year you've done something like this, or do you do this every year?
This
No,
is
this
the first
is
time.
yeah.
First
This is
time,
this
okay.
is our
And this is the
inaugural.
Yeah, it is
Nice,
the inaugural.
yes.
This is the first time the three schools have collaborated on an event. So I think it's going to be really nice. I think it's going to be great for the students too, to look up and look down the curriculum as well, to see younger performers in their curriculum and older performers. So I think it's going to be a great opportunity for everybody to just get a look into this window.
Yeah, and how did y'all come up with this idea to come together, collaborate like this, and have this inaugural event?
Well, the FAME board, as I mentioned, came to us, Leadership Montgomery, with a proposal for a project. When Leadership Montgomery takes on several projects throughout the year for each class. We chose the FAME Board's project for this really innovative collaborative arts program. We think this is a great way to show people what happens, but also what is the process in, because it's, it's a little bit, we need to be able to let people know how the applications work, how the selection processes work. It's a little more hands-on, and this provides them an opportunity to ask some good questions at an open house event where they don't really have to take time during the day, and they'll have access to information that they might not easily find on the internet.
And kind of going off of that, just to maybe give people a preview of if they're thinking about being involved in this, what is kind of the selection process, or how does that work?
There is a grade point average that's required. It's a 2.5, which is basically a high C. And of course, we don't want people with discipline issues, but other than that, just a love of music or an interest in music or dance or visual arts. There's an array of opportunities in music, especially. Starting with classical guitar, piano, violin, and other string instruments, show band, jazz band, and then of course, as I mentioned, dance, photography, visual arts. And to me, the exciting thing is most people don't realize this program, BTW, is 35 years old. Wow. Carver and Baldwin were right behind that, and we've never collaborated with them. And wow. Parents want to know, how do I start at Carver Elementary and then get into yes. Baldwin and then get into BTW? Do I have to go to Carver Elementary first and then make my way through, or can I just apply to BTW? And the answer, of course, is yes. And they can apply to Baldwin. They don't have to go to Carver Elementary first. But all of those questions are questions that parents have, and it's difficult to get answers right. for those just by reading the material on the web. So we're right. there to answer their questions and to allay their fears about applying and to encourage them to apply and help them to apply.
Okay, great. And again, this event is on January 14th.
Tuesday,
correct?
January 14th from 5:30 to 7:30, Montgomery Museum of Fine Arts.
All right, thank you so much. And again, thank you for watching. If you have a guest or a topic suggestion, then grab a pencil. We'll tell you how to send us the information next on Your Community This Week. Welcome back, and to suggest a guest for Your Community This Week, just contact our producer, Lois Crenshaw. Her email address is on the screen, lcrenshaw@allen.tv, or you can even call her, that number on your screen as well, 334-649-1071. And that's going to wrap it up for us here on Your Community This Week this Sunday. We hope you have a wonderful week and join us again next week. But until then, have a great work weekend, everyone.